Alright, in this video we're going to be changing the wheel bearings on this little boat trailer, and this boat trailer's tires are quite old, so it led me to assume that the trailer's wheel bearings were also quite old. So what you're going to want to do is remove the wheel. Once you have done that, remove the dust cap that covers the nut that holds on the hub that you bolt onto the actual axle on the trailer. There'll be a little split pin here that you'll need to cut and pull out to loosen off the nut that is holding on the hub. You can use a screwdriver, you can use some vice grips, you can use the correct socket, you can use a shifter if you want. That is what I used, as you saw there. If you don't have the correct tools, just make do with what you got. Once you've removed it, the front bearing will fall out, but the rear bearing will not come out. And this is the front one, it's going to be much smaller. To get the rear one out, all you're going to do is get a screwdriver and a hammer and just give it a knock, and it should fall straight out. Try not to damage anything if you plan on reusing them. Surprisingly, it all seemed to be pretty well maintained in terms of the actual wheel bearing itself didn't have much play in it, and it seemed to be pretty clean. So I'm going to clean out the whole hub, clean it with some brake cleaner, get a microfiber towel, make sure you get everything out. We want to try and keep this job clean. In saying that, it is an extremely messy job as well, so have a lot of towels ready to reuse, or rags or something like this. To clean this bearing, I'm going to soak it in brake clean and move it around and try to get all this gunk out. As you can see, there's just a heap of stuff in there, so we want to get all the old grease out. Make sure all the rollers are moving really well. As you can see, there's no heat spots, no marks, no scoring, burning, anything like that on this bearing, so this one's pretty good. Same with this rear one as well. It seems to be in pretty good condition too, so going to be reusing this. Just as a heads up, this is just my boat trailer, so it's not actually a customer's, so this is the option I'm going with to show you guys how to save some money and do it yourself. Throw some new wheel bearing grease on. That rubber seal at the back is the water seal. In saying that, it was in okay condition as well, so I wouldn't be replacing that. This is how you pack the bearings if you do not have a bearing packer. You will see that it pushes out the grease from the rollers. You have to do this on every single roller to do a good job, and it takes a little bit. It's a little bit of a messy job as well, so just get stuck straight into it and have a lot of spare rags ready to clean your hands and everything like that. Once you've done that, chuck a little bit of grease into the actual hub before reinstalling the bearings. Place the bearing into the hub and then put the metal dust shield on the back, or retainer, whatever you want to call it, and then use a rubber mallet just to whack it in and make sure it's sitting flush. From there, reinstall the hub onto the axle, and then you can put your front bearing in. Obviously, make sure to re-grease it correctly before you reinstall it. You can put the front bearing in now, and then from there you can put on the washer. After the washer, you can put on the nut. Now this is kind of the tricky part, which I'm going to show you how I do it. People do it a lot of different ways, this, that, the other. This is setting preload on the actual hub, so I tighten it really tight first and then back it off. From there, you're going to want to throw a wheel on. You see how when you roll the wheel, it just doesn't stop on its own. It kind of free spins almost so much where it wants to roll back the other way on itself. Yeah, this isn't the way I like to do it. I like to have a little bit of preload on it, so I'm going to adjust it here and take a little bit more off. Just to give you an example, this is not what I like to see. I don't like to see this house just rolling, and then it kind of just sits on itself. This is more what you want to see with it. You want to see it where it rolls and then comes to a stop on itself. From there, you want to chuck in another circlip. Make sure to cut it and bend it backwards. You can chuck a little bit of grease on the face of it there. From there, chuck that dust shield back on and tighten all the wheel nuts, and you should be good to go. Thank you so much for watching. Oh yeah, also got 2 new tires as well.